G'day everybody. Now I want to talk about memorial plaques and memorial leaving and stuff like that. Now, we all connect and live together. So when we put something out in public, everything out in public needs to be displayed in an obvious way that it's either a memorial or have a plaque of why it's there and that it's not junk, because sometimes stumps, certain areas, trees, and all that are actually memorials and stuff. And so you might have to chop down a stump in a certain area, but you can't chop down that stump because it's a memorial, right? And so you got to show a point. And so when I did one, I put a sign, a little piece of paper explaining why I put it there until was going to go make another one, but it was still there when my memorial got attacked and damaged, right? And so I want to talk about also with that, two in one, about how do people attack people who like to do such memorials, and definitely people who are tricksters and want to set up people. As I think about all ways when I go through incidences and things happen, I go, what happens if it was this? Definitely when you hear such storytellers like readers that talk about people pre-burying things, right? And when I heard such a thing, I'm like, well, what happens if someone pre-buried a log like the one I found and I'm doing up now? Right? As when you ride past and do things all the time, I can't guarantee that that log was actually there, right? I haven't got the video from the start to or no, but as far as I'm concerned, it was, right? And so I took that log, so that one there should be fine for as far as I'm concerned and what I videoed in that. But I will speak about something, as if you got to fight an enemy, you must know an enemy, right? And sometimes some people who do want to stop people from doing memorials or back up someone who wrecks memorials may set up a similar thing. That's what they do. So they go and bury a log, right? And they say it means something. They make a YouTube video of it. They make something, but they leave it there, and it looks like a buried bad log, right? And they leave it in a spot where there's lots of other bad logs. In fact, some bad logs might get removed and all that, definitely if it's in a council area and stuff like that. And so you're honouring the council, which is what I done when I went to do mine too, to let them know so they don't remove it. So nothing happens, as well as making things obvious and all that. But some people might just want to put a log in the ground, right? And go, oh, I'll just do that as a memorial. And then if this guy comes along, because there's a dude that makes memorials, but he also takes things, right? He might take my memorial. You know what I mean, Emma? And that case can happen. I talk about circumstances that can happen, right? But if they just bury it there, there's no plaques, there's no nothing, right? There's no real TV issue about it, right? Then it's not really real. It's just their thing. They've dumped it there. And when you leave something out, like dropping $20, right? More than likely, someone picks it up, and then you hear about them that they picked it up on your path. You can't really blame them then that they took the $20 or believe that it's yours. Isn't that right, Emma? It's a little bit like that, and so you got to make sure certain steps. Otherwise, when you snooze, you lose, kind of thing, like that $20. Say, Emma. Yeah. Um, and so if someone did that, and then say I come along, say someone did the plaque in my story, right? Mine's been chopped down, my stump, because my stump has a tree in them, and I'm remembering when it used to be alive, right? And so I've got a good connection to that stump, which I wouldn't mind going to if I could, and doing things when I could. If you can't, there's no use. You might as well leave it, which is what a lot of religions done in certain areas until they can go back. But you got to make sure you go back soon. Otherwise, if you leave other people to do things, you might have an issue later on to fix an issue that was your issue, right? And so they could bury this thing, do their own little video of it, and then go behind the scenes, because that's what tricksters do, go behind the scenes, and then say, oh, that was mine, and that person just come and stole it from me, and they took my memorial, right? Then they rock up to you and say you're a person that upgrades, say you've done this, right, and upgraded it. Who would be in the fault of that story? Hell of a story, eh? But it's possible. Right? This is how my mind thinks, and it always thinks. I say to Emma for many years, it's hard for me to sleep and certain things shut down my mind because it's constantly thinking about things, even though I don't need to. Like this scenario, right, is one of them. Right? And so I'm doing a video of it because it's a scenario and I like to talk about it. So who would be in the fault? So it's just a log sitting there. No, it's been there for a while. It's mixed in with other logs that recently got chopped down. But it could have had a story in their way too, because I even thought about that. Right? But they just did it wrong in their story, or they're being tricksters. Right? I could even make a movie about it. See, I'm good at movies. Mine will be excellent to quickly do scripts in certain areas, because I'm good at coming up with scenarios that are actually possible, could be happening, or may happen into the future. That's what a scenario is, definitely a possible one. Huh? But what would you expect? And I expect that because in my story, I've been attacked ever since I've been put out, and I've been reversed. They're trying to reverse what I do, trying to be me in a way, right? And try to get someone into trouble. Right? That's what they're doing. Right? And in that, this would be in the movie. That's the kind of thing they would do to try to get you behind the scenes with the law, as they already have in my story. Right? But anyway, I thought I'd mention that. You let me know in comments who would be in the right. In my logic and what I've learnt, what they tell us is logic out there, right? And what I've seen and put together, I could be wrong, as you sometimes need more information to get the right logic. But my logic would be that I'm right, unless they can find that there was a plaque there and it got stolen and all that kind of stuff. If it wasn't well advertised and it looks so obvious that it is junk, when a time of fire season, right, as well. I have a previous story of why I did the actions I did. I'm not making it for profit, right? I'm continuing what I do. Who would be in the wrong? Someone that stepped in and either did that deliberately or not deliberately, and now they're just going to have to go, well, I guess it's gone. If they did it to me, and I put that there, I'd go, oh, I guess I've lost it. It wasn't too important as it's there anyway and how it was advertised, but I would love that it would have been there. And in a way, it was stolen, but I've learnt the lesson. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. I wouldn't make it a big deal when it comes to that, as it's not too much effort, and you wouldn't put something too much of your heart out there where you want to fight and carry on too much. It's crazy doing that. And that's what religion need to learn too, about their buildings and stuff like that. That God wants you to not carry on too much about certain areas, and in fact he wants to teach you to move on, as we've done in history before, and he's rewarded us when we've done such actions when it comes to moving on, than to come back for revenge or say that you own that spot forever, right? Because no one does. We're sharing this planet, so sharing means you can have it for maybe a couple 100 years, but your time is over, you know what I mean? And share it. I tell my birdies off all the time, they fight over the cool spot, the mirror, hey Emma. And they got to learn to share. Anyway, have a good one, and see yous later.